Renee McLaughlin here. And, don't you get excited when you find something that just blows your mind that really can help so many people heal and feel better? And yet it's really affordable. And the technology of it, when you explain it, seems really simple. And yet the science and research that has gone on behind it is incredibly complex. And that's why I am going to be sharing so much about these new super patches. And they just look like this. And they have a little adhesive on the back. You peel them off, you put them on. I'll talk about that in a minute. And you get the benefits of this. It's that simple to use. Now, what exactly are these? Well, it starts with a pattern. You can't really see it necessarily on here, but it almost looks like a QR code. Now, let's go back a second. Every single bodily function that we have, from breathing to sleeping to our immune response to pain, but everything that we have has a neural code or nerve signals that go from the body up to the brain. Our brain and our central nervous system controls all these different things through these nerve signals. But what happens is when we get stressed, when we're injured, when we have infection, can any of you relate to any of those things, especially if you've been on the planet a few years? What can happen is those neurosignals start to get jumbled or chaotic. In my somatic movement classes, we call this sensory motor amnesia when it has to do with the muscles and the fascia losing connection to that brain to body connection. But this is about all the different functions in the body. So, the scientists and the researchers have found and been able to decode so many of these different signals and where they go in the brain. And then they've been able to put these different balancing signals on these patches that go on your skin that then help to rebalance and create coherence back into the body. And anytime we get this neurological upgrade, I'll call it, everything starts to work better. So on this little slide, it's basically saying the super patch technology is using these specially arranged ridges that are on these patches, and it just helps our brain and body optimize how they are acting. Okay. The skin that contacts these triggers this neuro response. And then you just start to get the benefits of each of these. I mean, how wild is that? No wonder I'm excited about it, right? All right, I'm going to put it down. Now, why is this technology just like so mind blowing? And why is it that it can help millions of people over the world? Well, are we not stressed out? People are so stressed out. People are in pain. We are not, our hormones are a mess, right? So our mood is all over the place. We have cognitive issues, so much dementia, Alzheimer's, brain fog, difficulty thinking, difficulty sleeping, anti-aging issues. We're aging faster than ever. How about even our skin as we are exposed to all the environment and the food, etc.? Our skin starts to get wrinkly and creepy and crepey. We get acne and eczema. So skin is an issue. I think you get the picture. How about even just from performance needs, from athletics to just golfing, playing our sports, pickleball, all these things? We need to have strength and energy, the ability to focus, to move quickly, to have really good balance. Here's something that I find just fascinating. Our scientists have found that there is a direct correlation between longevity, the number of years we have left, and our ability to be strong and have balance and mobility. And that's why the one patch that is called the Liberty Patch, which is really helpful, and we have tests that you can actually use to show that you can improve your balance, strength, and mobility by up to like 30% right away. And that leads to better longevity, more years, but more vital years. It's just breathtaking again. And what do we have now to help with all those things? Well, we do have things, don't we? I mean, we have drugs that might be able to help. We've even got supplements. We have surgeries that can help with some of these things. You can change your lifestyle, right? You can have different diets that may help with some of these things. Oh, did I mention metabolic issues as well with diabetes, pre-diabetes, and all the different things that happen with our metabolism? But in order to help all these things, we have all these other inventions or interventions, but they require time, money, commitment, lifestyle changes. And yeah, they can be helpful, but how about if you have a drug-free, ingredient-free, the only intervention is slopping this thing on that's 100% safe. It is 100% safe. There's no interactions with any of your drugs or anything else that you're doing. There's no real lifestyle changes, especially for your metabolic things. You just put it on and enjoy the benefits. You can see why I'm so excited about this, you guys. All right. So right now we have 13 different patches. Now remember, each of these patches have a different code on them that will give the body very specific signals right to the brain that have to do with that particular issue that you're dealing with. And some of them are very, very complex. So the first one that I mentioned is the Liberty, and that's going to give you more strength, more energy, better balance and stability, better range of motion, faster recovery. It reduces inflammation. It enhances your neurofunction and the homeostasis in your brain. So it is foundational. If you're only going with one patch, you want to start with that one and just allow it to just help everything, the whole body help itself with that one patch. And then any other patch that you put with it just gets enhanced. I'm not going to go over every one of these because in additional videos, I'm going to be sharing with each one because each one deserves its own whole video about it. But what you can see is there are some amazing patches on here. Amazing. All right, let's keep going. So let me just answer a few questions that you might have right away as you're looking at these. First of all, like, okay, how do you use them? As I mentioned, very easy. You undo this, you stick it on, you dry off, make sure it's in a dry place or dry and clean. So if you have if you're somebody that has more hair on you, you want to find a place that's less hairy and just easy because it needs to sit and it needs to sit flat. So you don't want to do it right on any joint because every time you move, right, it's not going to be able to sit flat. So the places that are most common people are finding is on your stomach. I like the back as well if you have somebody that can help you with that, on thighs and on arms, like in the back, okay? They are not place specific. It doesn't matter where you place them. The only one that might make a difference, some people find that you can put the pain patch, which is called freedom from pain, close to where you're in pain. A lot of people find that that seems to make a difference. Okay. Now, here's what I find. My skin just rejects things like this. Band-aids fall off. I can't keep stuff on. So I was having a little bit of a trouble. So what I found is a couple of things. One, I use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to just really clean off the place. So if you have maybe a lot of oil on your skin or whatever it is that's on there, and I let that dry and put it on, that makes a big difference. I'm putting them right on the tops of my feet, and that's the place that they are staying on the easiest for me. So you might have to move around a little till you find a good place for you and where your skin will take them. Now, you can wear as many of these patches as you have skin to put on. It doesn't matter. Now, why is that though? Because each of these patches have a very specific neural code that applies to that specific situation. Right. So let me give you another example. One of the patches, it's called Defend. And the scientist who created it said that Defend was one of his most challenging patches because there are so many parts of the brain that are affected when you're talking about immune system. Just think about that. So it was a very complex patch, but it's very specific to working with the body on those codes for immune. It's not exactly the same code that would be used for, say, pain or for metabolic issues, right? So you can use as many of these. They're not going to interfere with each other or anything else that you're doing. Remember, there are no ingredients on this. You're not ingesting. It's not transdermal. Okay, that takes a while for the brain to kind of get around. All right. They are designed to be worn, each one, for 24 hours. Okay, so they're 24-hour patches. They are waterproof, so you can take a shower, you can swim in them. But after 24 hours, they start to lose their sticky and they become less efficient. So 24 hours. The only one that isn't is the REM patch, which is for sleep. Now, the sleep patch, it's recommended that you put it on about 60 minutes, about an hour before you want to go to sleep. And then you want to take it off when you get back up again. So those are the only ones that aren't 24 hours. Okay. I think that's good. Now, if you have both Liberty, sorry, that's the foundational one, and Victory, which really helps with muscle activation and performance, etc., energy. Those two work beautifully together. There was too much to put on one patch for all the things that both of them do, but they are great together. Okay. And you definitely want to try them and do the balance test. And if you want to see the balance test and have it, just put a little comment below here and I will share those with you. I have a couple already that I've done. All right, so I've already answered a few of these. If you're only to wear one patch, which would it be? The Liberty patch, and that will just give you that neurological homeostasis or balance, okay? The additional will then just work better with that. Do you have to? No, there's no real rules with this. Everybody has to kind of figure out what works best. But the developer of this felt like Liberty is it's the foundation. Okay, we've talked about where to place them. Can you shower with them? Yes, 24 hours to wear them, except for the sleep patch. But this is another interesting question. How soon are you going to feel the effects? Okay, now it depends on you and it depends on which patch. So I just want to give you, and again, I haven't been wearing these long, right? I just got mine and are starting to play with them and really doing this deep dive into listening and watching how other people have been getting responses with this. So right now, this is my answer to it. And I'm going to read what it says here. It might be a little small. What it says here is the patch is going to send the correct message to the brain and helps it recalibrate those corrupted neuropathways back to some optimal settings in the brain. Okay. Now, some of them you're going to feel the effects immediately, but for others, it may take some days. And for some, you're not going to notice the difference until you've been wearing them a little bit longer, especially if you've had specific conditions for a long time, because you're rebuilding neuropathways. Now, with this Liberty patch and the Victory, the cool thing is you can do those balance tests. So there are tests showing, how strong you are, how much balance you have laterally, right, and falling forward without it. So you test without it, you put it on, you test with it, and man, you feel it. Oh, wow, strong. But does that mean that when you first put the Liberty patch on, you feel stronger? You feel like you have better balance? Not really. That's why that test is so important because it shows you even if you're not having an immediate felt response, it's still working. And I think that's really, really powerful. So I've been wearing that one. I've worn the peace patch, which is for stress. Now I'm in a pretty good place right now. I'm not really having a lot of stress going on in my life, but I know that the body is always dealing with stress. And so anytime I can just help my nervous system keep it calm, I know it's a great thing. So I'm not going to say I put that on and immediately, but one of the people who shared this with me, that was not her experience. She had been going through some very stressful times and she was just kind of a stress mess, a stress ball, to be honest. And they put one on her the first time and she said within 10 minutes, she was like, oh, like she just felt her nervous system come down and relax. So that's what I mean. It can be very individual, okay, as to how you feel. With the sleep patch, I've seen some people like, oh my gosh, I put it on, and maybe the second day I was like sleeping great. And for other people, it took a little bit of time, okay? It took a week, 2 weeks, and a little longer. But absolutely, as they continued to wear it, the sleep got better and better. And especially if you've been dealing with sleep issues for a long time, it can take a little bit of time, okay, until the neural pathways come back into a balance that you're actually getting a felt sense of change. All right. So just play with them, have patience with it, and know when you're dealing with these patches, you are working at root cause of issues. We're not suppressing symptoms. Okay. We're not drugging the symptoms. We're not, it's none of that. We're actually working at the root cause, which is the brain and the central nervous system. That's root cause of so many of these issues. And that's what we're working with the patches. So if you'd like more information, the website has so much. It has all these science and scientific studies proving this technology. Please go to my site. It's right here, reneemcgill.superpatch. And I can't wait to hear your experience with it. So thanks so much, and you have a fit and fabulous day.